Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Kungpaokenny Podcast. We're back with the boys. We're back talking LCS. I've missed the boys. It's time. 2021 is coming. LCS has started. The lock-in tournament has started. And we're going to give our thoughts, takes, and opinions. We're going to talk about all the teams. We're going to talk about the lock-in tournament and the new format. And finally, we're all going to come up with a tier list, as if that's not an original idea. We're going to come up with a tier list for all the teams in the LCS. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Everybody say hi.
I've been just waiting for prime NA League of Legends gameplay. I was just restless, just waiting. I couldn't like sleep at night knowing that TSM was winning or losing. But I'm glad NA is back.
All right, LCS is back.
I'm having fun with my 35% win rate in ranked right now. I feel like the new season's been amazing. Just loving it. Yeah.
What about you, Lincoln? How you doing?
I've been good. I've been excited to see some more League of Legends just in general, so I'm glad that LCS is kind of back because I can't watch enough LCK and LPL in my time zone. So,
all right,
what it is.
Sick. So before we begin, I'm gonna give the audience a bit of a TLDR on what the LCS 2021 format looks like. So essentially, right now, what we are is the equivalent of a preseason. The teams are now playing a lock-in tournament where two of the top seeded teams from last year, which are FlyQuest and TSM, get to pick 3 teams to join them in a group. They do a round robin. There's a whole tournament. It's cool. The winner gets 150K. It essentially doesn't really affect the actual season in the first place. It's just a preview of all the teams. And we're going to be talking about how the teams look in a little bit. After that, we go into a spring split. Spring split has a double round robin format. It then ends up in the mid-season showdown, where the winner of that will be sent to MSI. NA only gets one person to go to MSI this year. And finally, for summer split, we're going to have a triple round robin. Which then gives the teams a combined record, which then the top 3 of those combined records from spring and summer will then be picked to go to Worlds. That is one of the biggest, structural changes that we've seen to the LCS so far. What do you guys think of these changes? How do you guys like them?
In terms of the preseason, I kind of like the preseason. It just gives teams an opportunity to experiment with rosters, just to see kind of what sticks. And it's also a preview to the meta, to just get a good feel for the meta outside of scrims. And then in terms of the spring and summer, there's always this, spring doesn't matter. Why even try and spring split? It doesn't matter. But I think now it's just more similar to how like an NHL or NBA season works. But one issue with that is I can definitely see a team just completely like flopping in the spring season, and then there's just like, okay, well, what's the point?
I mean, don't they have a combined record though? Like, doesn't it just doesn't that like screw with your possibility of going to Worlds?
Going into your like 27th game being like 3-24, like, do you really care?
That's true.
It's not. I can definitely see that situation happening.
Yeah, to that point, I actually think they should have made summer split worth more. Like, I would have advocated for like a points tier system instead of having a points tier system where like you can have like, let's say, the last round robin of the summer split be worth like 2 of like all the other previous games. So because that's like the round robin right before playoffs, right? So I feel, or like you can even ramp it up gradually, like, right? So you can have the second round robin in the summer be worth 1.5 as much as the previous games. I feel like that would incentivize teams to like, try harder to like actually push for playoffs, as opposed to what Steven mentioned, fuck it, fuck it, we're 10th place, we're CLG, fuck it.
Yeah, you can't tank for any draft picks, so it's just like, what's the point of this season?
Dude, you have access to NA's best and brightest in the NA solo queue region. Anyway, sorry, Lincoln, you were saying.
NA scouting ground, dude, scouting ground. On a serious note, I do like Alex's point. I think it has some merit, and I don't disagree with it. But I think if you have a system like that where you're almost rewarding the last couple games or like the last couple rounds of round robin, it almost feels like you're kind of slowly drifting back towards that whole championship point system that we've had in the past. Not that it's the same thing, obviously, but it does feel like you're almost like it was before, prioritizing summer split and not necessarily like caring about spring split.
Yeah.
I think I understand that if a team goes 0-18 somehow in the first in the spring split, it kind of disincentivizes summer split a bit more. But I think the other thing to consider is that this year definitely seems a lot more different, and it does seem like there are teams that are fully committing to a rebuild.
Yeah.
And I think the aspect of teams kind of being able to rebuild in quotation marks around one or two players that they want to try out and giving rookies a chance to develop talent within their own system might incentivize them to continue playing.
Yep.
I don't dislike what is essentially a 5-time round robin, but I do think that there could be some sort of priority or benefits to the summer split the second half.
Yo, Lincoln, push your mic away a little bit. You're popping. Your pops. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so let's talk. So right now we're in the middle of the lock-in series, the preseason. A bunch of games have already been played. I'm going to get the first takes from all of you guys as to what you guys find significant, interesting that you've seen from these lock-in games. I'll go first. I think 100 Thieves looks really good. I love that team. I love the Golden Gardens team last year. I really hope that they would stick together, and the fact that they moved over and essentially upgraded their top lane from Hauntzer to Someday just makes that team even better. They look really good against TSM. They look great against TL. I don't know. What do you guys think about this 100 Thieves roster?
Money talks, dude. They're really stacked. Actually, FBI and Huhi were really popping off at the end of summer, and just looking at it, obviously this is a preseason tournament, so it's not going to be completely indicative of how the whole entire season is going to go. And because 100 Thieves is they're four, they have the same jungle mid 80 carry support, and then you just have some, you can just replace top laners, I'm sure Someday could just fit right in,
There's continuity.
Yeah, they're definitely, it feels like they're the most cohesive team, at least in this preseason end. Yeah, they play very proactively, and they have generally, closer has been really hard smurfing too. I've been really happy watching that team. They play a really, really, really fun game style.
I've been surprised. Yeah, 100 Thieves have been definitely looking pretty good. I've personally surprised at how good Golden Guardians have looked, in particular Iconic. He's been, matching or sometimes even diffing some of the LCS junglers. And also I like how Niles, you could tell he's a rookie because he plays without fear. He fucking takes trade. He goes in, he's like Spoonie with less int, but I think that's good because you want to be looking, you want to play no fear. You don't want to be like, oh shit, I'm against Alfari, I gotta play safe. You gotta be like, no, fuck that. That's I don't know.
Yo, speaking of Hooney,
out of position, I gotta kill him. So I like that. The fearlessness of Niles, I like it. I also like the and Iconic just being really, really good for what people expected.
Yeah, I actually want to tether off of what Alex just said. I think Niles in particular, I think a lot of people were kind of looking at him as kind of inting a couple times, and there were multiple careless deaths that he probably shouldn't have taken. But at the same time, you look at Golden Guardians just as a whole, as a roster, and they were able to stay even or even develop leads in the case of the TSM game, which I know Kenny wants to talk about for sure. But you look at Golden Guardians, exactly about 1 year ago, and the old Golden Guardians roster, which is now 100 Thieves, they had plenty of ways of kind of getting out to an early lead and kind of maintaining a decent grasp of coming out of laning phase. And then you looked at their mid games from 1 year ago, and people would say, yeah, their mid game isn't great. They don't kind of continue to grow those leads, and then they have one big moment around Baron or a big team fight where they kind of throw, and then the other team kind of takes over.
Yeah.
And if you look at Golden Guardians this year, you saw that in the TSM game, and you can kind of see that proactive early game into that lack of cohesion in the mid game, and they kind of fall apart near the end.
Yeah.
And I think same as Golden Guardians of 2020, if they can kind of work on that, improve that, especially with an primarily rookie roster, they could have a chance to really grow Iconic and Niles into a couple of really, homegrown talent, so to speak. Cornerstones of their roster and kind of build around them.
Really excited for the rookie talent that we've seen over the course of the lock-in tournament. However, I don't really want to talk about rookies anymore. Let's talk about TSM.
Oh, they're so bad. Oh my god. What? Like, think about it.
Lord.
How much money did TSM spend on that roster? Like, in comparison to, like, a Golden Guardians or, like, a FlyQuest. Like, probably, like, ballpark around 5 times.
I would say. Dude, I feel like one Sword Art is the entirety of, like, is like one LCS roster for most people, to be honest.
I think Sword Art might be the entirety of the Golden Guardians.
Yeah, like, for sure, at
being
least.
honest.
Oh my
Really?
god.
I think he's more. He has to be a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, a lot, because the rookie players, you're probably only paying them like 100K. Like Sword Art, they paid 60.
I think the base for a rookie player in the LCS, like right off the draft or scouting grounds or whatever, is about 150. As far as I know, 150. Yeah, 150. It got raised like recently.
Okay, yeah,
but that's you're still looking at Niles and Iconic then being no more than probably 400, 500 combined.
That's a tenth of what Sword Art. Okay, I don't know. Every single like worry I had about the roster coming in is like, it's just kind of come true. I'm like, oh, Hooney's like kind of bad. Like, I don't know, Hooney's just gonna int, and then he does, and then like, Sword Art's like kind of ineffective. I don't know. His laning hasn't been super impressive.
Yeah, his team fighting.
His synergy with Lost isn't great.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue that I saw. Like, I feel like they haven't established any synergy yet. They're still kind of like. It looks like a solo queue game when they're playing together, to be honest.
Yeah.
And when Bjergsen and coach, I was like, okay, maybe their drafting will not be so terrible.
Yeah.
And then it just, like, maybe Bjergsen was just the problem the entire time. Because, like, they do the same shit. They draft the most reactive, like, limp dick comps I've ever seen. And then they just scale and just hope the other team throws. Like, oh my gosh, it's actually the Spica 1v9 show again with 4 different players. It's so, I don't know. This is preseason, so obviously it can all change. And they are in the knockout stage for the lock-in. But it looked terrible. It was.
There's one specific thing we talked about. I'll mention is in their game against Golden Guardians, they picked Gnar into Camille Galio, Talia. Like one of the most vulnerable top laners, and then they just pick it against one of the most dive heavy compositions. Like you could tell Hooney probably didn't want to play Gnar, but Bjergsen's like, no, you're playing Gnar. No, you're playing team fight.
Could just
okay, I guess I'm playing Gnar then.
So like, he's like, dude, like Gnar's good into Camille 1v1. It's so free. It's so free, dude. And then it's like, oh shit, they're just followed my lane.
Oh, we're not in solo queue.
Or maybe Hooney's been watching me getting shit stomped by Gnar's Camille. He's watching my games, and he's like, oh shit, Gnar counters Camille. Let's go.
Alex, the inspiration for TSM drafting is our boy Alex. Dude, I don't know if that's a good thing, man. That's rough, bro. What are you doing to TSM, man? Look at what you've done to Trivia, boy. He's depressed, he's sad, that's all over.
The Shy has fooled everyone into thinking Gnar is OP. Although I think he's not as bad as some people think. I think it's definitely
in Bjergsen and Hooney's defense, Gnar has been extremely popular in like LPL, and even to some extent LCK as well, from what I've seen. On the not so bright side for Bjergsen and Hooney, Gnar has not been doing well in the LPL nor the LCK. Especially when you look at the types of top laners that are being played, you're seeing a lot of Camille, like we touched on. You're also seeing a ton of Renekton.
Yes.
And Hooney's mechanically has always been a pretty great player, but the matchup of Gnar into some of those champions is just not in a good state right now. I will say, if we're talking about the Spica kind of 1v9 carry, Sword Art in that Golden Guardians game laning phase, like we touched on, he didn't look amazing with Lost. But there were many moments where I would watch a team fight and look at Sword and you say, yeah, if Sword Art wasn't, playing Alistar, tanking all of the damage, getting in there and kind of starting up fights, I don't know if, Spica and the rest of TSM are somehow able to, claw their way back in that game off of what was simply just a barren steal into a couple team fights in which TSM was able to win because Golden Guardians was kind of, demoralized and like, oh my god.
I don't know, dude. In general, that game was just such a shit show from both sides. And I think that's the worst part. Like, I feel like from Golden Guardian side, you're like, how do you throw that lead? And on the other side of TSM, it's like, how do you let that even happen? And like, how?
But
like,
I think my argument at the very least is on TSM side, you've got 5 veteran players, if you call Speak a veteran, which he's not really, but you got 5 players who should know what they're doing. At least on Golden Guardian side, you can look at that shit show and say, okay, we did throw, yes, but we also built an early lead.
Yeah.
Did well in laning phase overall, had some mid-game mistakes, and at the second Baron also, like, they went for it. They had to make a play. They knew they were down. They at least had the instinct to go for it, as opposed to just letting themselves get bled out.
Yeah, but I think the difference is, dude, one team is rebuilding and the other one paid millions of dollars for Sword Art.
That's why I'm defending. I'm not defending TSM. I'm defending Golden Guardian.
Okay.
I'm saying, at least on Golden Guardian side, you can say there are the pieces, there is the mentality, there's the ideas here. TSM is in a bad place.
Yeah.
Like you can definitely learn a lot as Golden Guardians going into that. Like you're like, okay, well, we had a split composition and we kind of forced a team fight. We couldn't really like fight it properly because they had to look for a Camille flank or just look for the split, and they kind of were just running into Oriana ball.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's like something you can learn from. Like, okay, yeah, like well, in this situation, but it's a lot harder. It's a lot more encouraging seeing those kind of mistakes. Being like, yeah.
I mean, they're rookies, right? That's the thing. Like, they're supposed to make mistakes. They're supposed to grow. It's just like I feel like this TSM roster has always been and will, like, when you pay that kind of money, you're always on a timer, right? And you have expectations. And I mean, so far it's preseason, but the expectations haven't been met. Anyway,
another thing I want to bring up is that game. You would generally expect TSM to fall behind because they have early game because they sort of have like the weaker comp or the weaker early game comp. They want to play for team fights, so. You wouldn't actually be that surprised if, 20 minutes in, you're down maybe, 2k gold.
Yep.
That's sort of expected. But if you look at the game, it wasn't a comp div, it was a player that, Niles was just gapping, hard gapping Huni in lane. And, Bot was getting gapped, too. I think they were getting gapped, I don't remember quite. I just remember Top getting hard gapped. It was, literally individual player gap across the whole map, right up until the Baron steal. And then that's when Speak smurfed and, sort of brought the game back. Yeah, before then, just the fucking individual player diff was crazy.
It's been rough for TSM, I'm not gonna lie.
Imagine solo killing someone who gets paid, 10 times more than you. That's good.
Okay, let's just move on so that, we need Trivia Boy to survive till the end of this podcast and not kill himself, so let's, not talk about TSM anymore. Any other teams that you guys saw that were really interesting?
We haven't talked about TL at all.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up TL.
There's not. I mean, when I say there's not too much to say about TL, I mean it in the best way because they're performing, the way that you would expect. Yes, the loss to 100 Thieves was discouraging, especially because a lot of people were saying, TL C912 in some combination. But the way that 100 Thieves have looked so far in this tournament, a loss to them, and winning their other 2 games relatively, handily, I don't think is a bad spot for them.
Nah, man, I think 100 Thieves played really well in that game.
Yeah. And I think if you're TL, you can only, you can look at the games that you played and say, the one game that we lost, there was some cohesion errors, Armeo didn't play amazingly, Jensen didn't play amazingly, but you can look at Alfari in all 3 games and say, this has been an amazing pickup so far.
Alfari smurfed it. Super hard. That guy's been insane. He's pretty much 1v1. He's diffed most people in NA so far.
If I remember that game correctly, I think it was sort of a jungle diff because
it was
their
a
bot
big
lane 2v2 killed them, but then they failed to protect. Armeo failed to protect his bot lane
Yeah.
from 100 Thieves dives.
Yeah.
And even
In
though
fairness-
Akari was smurfing the side
Yeah.
lane, they're just like, they just couldn't do anything with the side lane pressure either.
Yeah. In fairness, Closer played extremely well in the
Yeah.
TL game, and him coming down and kind of protecting the 100 Thieves bot lane and taking back some of the advantages that Tactical and Core won the 2v2 was really big for 100 Thieves staying in the game early. And
Oh.
from there, it was, as Alex said, a bit of a jungle diff.
Gore Drinker
with Closer just
Olaf. Oh, Gore Drinker Olaf.
Yeah. Closer's honestly like really, really good. Like even during his Golden Guardians days, like when the team wasn't doing well, I just felt like this guy was just really good.
Closer's
He's
just
definitely
better
like
than most.
top 3 jungler in
Yeah.
North America, like alongside like Blabber and Santorin.
Okay,
don't know.
can we? Is there stuff to say about C9? Like, I feel like they've been good. Like they've been really good.
They're not Giga Smurf.
They're not
or,
Giga Smurfing. Perks has
They're
been,
alright.
bro was like on Twitter. He was like, "I'm 0 deaths on LCS. Maybe maybe I'll just have no deaths at all." Didn't have a
I
great
think
first game.
His Yone looks like it looks like kind of like he was definitely egoing that.
Yeah.
I think so. I think Yone's actually a pretty good champ.
Did you see
I
how
think-
many Qs he was missing? Like holy shit, he
I don't
was
think you pick
How?
Yone. I don't think you pick Yone in that comp if you're not, flexing a little bit. I think, especially saving it for what was, I believe, last pick or round 4. I don't think you ever pick Yone there and say, I'm playing a safe, I'm playing to make sure I, dominate lane and I don't die and I am able to carry my team.
Mhm.
Because Yone needs to snowball so incredibly hard. And he has, from what we've seen, outside of, Soligo, the Yone god, he has a lot of, weaknesses that you can exploit, including the E, where you have to snap back to the same point, and they were able to kind of take advantage of that every single time.
I mean, I think that C9 as a team identity is what's going to be kind of cocky. Like, I think that's the way they want to play. I think that's the way that they want to show up, and I think that's their personality. I think they build it like if their personality is centered around perks, it's always going to be like that.
He's gonna try and skill check everyone.
Yep,
which
pretty
makes
much, skill
sense. They
check
have
everyone.
really good mechanical players. So.
I think
Sick.
that game they should have just sent Lucian mid. Like Yone was an ego pick. For sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh
like
yeah,
that was-
for sure.
Like Lucian
right,
really
they
is, like,
flexed-
just
they
set up,
flexed
like,
Lucian.
Yeah.
And then like they could have like picked MF or something with MF Leon. And
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you said Lucian mid.
Like what?
I mean, dude, if you're picking Lucian, they picked Lucian bot, right? If I'm not wrong, for Sven.
Yeah,
they
like,
picked the bot.
Yeah, so Lucian bot to me is also another just like ego pick, where you're like, because I feel like if you're playing Lucian bot, like what's that saying in a competitive environment? What's that saying to me is like I'm just gonna outskill you, I'm just gonna beat you in
Yeah,
lane and
definitely
just
a
take
gap
over.
champ.
Yeah, they just wanted to
Something
gap 2
else.
lanes.
Yeah, something tells me Sven didn't want to play Lucian.
Yeah.
No, give me Yone. Give me Yone.
Give me counter pick.
I'll carry. And then it's like Sven's like, fuck you, I'll play Lucian.
I don't think Sven's a Lucian guy. Yeah.
And then next game, the coach is like, all right, you're on Galio duty.
yeah,
You're Yone. Shit, you're playing Galio. First, like, okay, Sag.
hey man,
I don't
he gets the money in the pocket. I don't think there's anything to be
Yeah.
sad about. You pay me
True.
like $5 million to pay Galio every game. Fuck yeah, dude, let's go all day.
Galio
all day I'm
Beauty,
thinking.
man.
About it. You gotta do what you gotta
Unlike
do.
Sword Art, I think Perks is trying to win.
Oh, for
He's
sure.
he's not trying to paycheck steal because
I don't
You
know,
see,
man. I just hope that like C9 doesn't like fall off. Like I just hope that like this year for NA, the 3 best teams actually represent the region, rather than like some flip flop and like C9 falls off. Like I don't know. I just hope that the top 3 represents the top 3. Like is just my hope.
yeah.
I don't know if there's much else.
I mean-
Sorry. Someone want to say something? My bad.
Oh, I was gonna say at least the top 3 seems pretty competitive between Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, EG, and C9. If they're relatively competitive with each other, I think it won't get to a situation where one team gets cocky and just falls off.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what happened to C9. They were like, "Holy, we're just smurfing on NA, so let's try some new shit," and then they kind of lost their way.
Yeah.
I don't think that's-
before a playoff TSM shit house their way to another LCS.
TSM, plot armor.
0-10
No,
MSI, let's
no,
go.
no.
Dude, they're just gonna Kirito their way. It's Sword Art Online. Oh wait, that's it, dude. That was such a good pun. It's Sword Art Online, dude. It's gonna, it's just
Sword
plot
Art
armor.
Online.
Sword Art's gonna
Huni-
turn
Huni
online.
But Huni's off.
Huni's on. Anyway,
But I think,
yeah.
do you want to continue just with the other teams, or?
Yeah, I was thinking. We are currently 20 minutes in. I don't really want to go too long, and I think we should have like 15-ish minutes for the tier list at the end. I think we can talk about like one or two more teams in a short period.
All right, can we talk about CLG?
I knew you were going to go CLG.
Let's go.
CLG? Oh boy.
CLG. You know that team? When I was
Dude,
saying
watching
that
those games
scenario,
really do counter my logic. Like, ooh.
the team that'll go like they'll be like, I don't know, like 4-20 or 4-21 or something, you know. And then they'll just mail it in the rest of the split. The first team I thought would happen to is totally CLG. Like, oh well, you know, I guess we can't make playoffs, guys. So we're just gonna tank for nothing. But yeah,
When you look at all the rosters, at least you can say, you know, the bottom three teams were projected to be CLG, Dignitas, Golden Guardians, and I guess we'll lump Immortals in there too and say the bottom four. Of all those teams, at least you can say that 3 out of the 4 of them have something to kind of fight for, even if they're in a bad position at the end of the split, and that's because they can, you know, still look to grow and still look to have those same games.
Yeah,
where,
they're rebuilding.
sure, you don't win, but you show promise. You have your rookies, you know, solo killing, you know, an experienced LCS top laner, or getting early advantages, or winning a team fight around Baron. CLG is the roster where you look at them and say, yeah, we know exactly how to do this, but we don't really want to do it anymore. So screw it. We'll just kind of mail it in, play fun things, or
Dude,
whatever.
it's like a retirement home, though. Actually, it's Finn, it's Broxa, it's like old people, you know, like.
to me,
Well, Finn, he's put earlier in his career. Finn's fine. But I don't think Finn's worth like an import though. That confused me actually. Like why are they importing Finn? Because like you might as well get like an NA top.
You might as well
laner
just
if you're
keep,
gonna
dude. You might as well just keep solo.
yeah.
Round 2 solo ends up.
Dude, actually,
always
where
finds
did
his way
Solo end up? Did Solo get signed?
He's in CLG
He's
Academy, I think.
CLG on
Oh.
he's on CLG as like a 1 month contract. So his contract is
Yeah.
up at like the end of the month or like mid-February.
Bro got a 10-day. All
I
right.
think it's the 25th. I think it was 25th or something, Jan 25th, because
Oh really?
Finn's visa got approved like recently, so I think Finn could maybe be here by like playoffs. No, wait, no, they're out of playoffs, so
Start of the spring split.
okay, maybe they knew they were gonna shit out of like they weren't gonna make playoffs last year. They only signed Solo until the 25th. Like they fucking knew.
You're right. You're right.
We don't
You're
need
right,
to
by the
talk
way.
Solo for that long.
Alex is right. By the
Oh,
way,
God.
Solo is only signed until the 25th of January. So I guess Finn is
They
coming by
fucking
then.
knew.
Dude, okay, I actually want to bring up. I don't think Dignitas look as bad as I thought they were gonna look.
No.
I thought they were okay. Like I thought, okay, not okay. I thought they were like, from a scale of 0 to 100, I thought they were like a 45 to 50. You know, and I thought they were gonna be like a 30-35 team. I think they look okay.
I mean, it's good enough for a developmental roster. You know, at least they're not CLG. You know, they got that.
I actually think Pobelter and Wildter are actually not playing that bad.
Hmm.
I think Smoothie is absolutely like washed. This should be his last year, I think. But yeah, but we'll see like as the season goes on.
Okay.
But with the rookie rosters, I mean, it's like Immortals, Dignitas, Golden Guardians.
Hmm.
I think those are the 3.
Yeah, those
and
are
I
the
guess
rookie
FlyQuest is kind of.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, the whole point is that those other 3 teams like are rebuilding and genuinely have hope for the future, right? As I think it's like, it's just I don't know where the CLG roster is going.
Yeah, like every team you can see like has a clear purpose.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, either you have 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves, TL, C9 are sort of gunning for the title. TSM's gunning for the title. Like you can sell like EG and like EG is also trying to gun for like at least Worlds, if not the title, and
Yeah.
the other teams are trying to, the other teams are focused on developmental rosters. Then you have fucking like CLG. It's like, okay, you get a washed jungler, you get a washed mid laner, a washed a decent AD carry, a washed support, and then you import like a middle of the pack like carry EU carry top laner. I mean, like what? It looks like a team's trying to avoid relegation, which doesn't even exist. Maybe they're trying to keep their sponsors like alive or something. It's like tell their sponsors, hey, we got like this team. Hey, they're pretty decent, right? Like, hey, look, Rogue went to Worlds. You know,
they show them 2015 clips of like, holy moly,
dude!
like,
They show
won a title.
they show that one Broxa clip where he kicks the Gragas in a world.
Oh yeah,
that one clip, like that's it.
Wait. Just going a little bit of a tangent. When the TSM announced Toonie on the roster, literally all the clips were like before 2017. I couldn't find a single clip.
And LCK was like 2017 LCK clips, like the fucking 2016. Oh man.
Hey man, hopefully like somehow there's some major change. Rumble comes back to the meta, and then maybe TSM's like 50% win rate or something. I don't know. Anyway, I think we're pretty good talking about the teams. Let's move on to our piece of very basic content, which is the tier list. I'm really excited. So I'm gonna switch to OBS thing now. Hold up. Where is Oh wait, can you guys just open the tier list? It's on the Discord, right? Like just
yeah.
Actually, I'll share screen on the Discord so you guys can see. That's how it's supposed to work.
If that doesn't mess with it too much, then
yeah. It doesn't mess with it. So now we have a tier maker list here with the LCS 2021 teams. We have 5 categories. So we have split winners, possible split winners. We have dark horses, might make playoffs, won't make playoffs, and speedrun to 10th. I would say. We
know which one's gonna be speedrun.
Yes, let's start with the bottom. Let's
get
make
that
it
one
easy.
out of the way.
CLG, yeah.
Retirement home, baby. Okay, I want to start from bottom to top. Okay, speedrun to 10th. Who else do we have? I feel like CLG has like this is like CLG's category on its own, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't think anyone else deserves to be here. Miss out on playoffs. Dig, right? Immortals?
I don't know. FlyQuest has been looking pretty bad.
I think FlyQuest has to be there first. Like I think FlyQuest is not looking good.
No.
I mean like in the playoffs.
Oh, playoffs. Miss out playoffs. Like. Okay,
Yeah,
so the way I wanna see it is that like. The worst is like to the right, and then the left is like the best, right? And then right before you.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Oh,
That's like the way I
yeah.
see it. Yeah. So, so if anyone's wondering, this is EG. We just can't see it. Okay, Golden Guardians. Where do we put them? Above FlyQuest?
Okay, wait.
Above Dig?
Is there 6 or 8 teams that qualify for playoffs?
It's 8 teams.
8 teams? That's
Hey.
crazy. That's a
It's-
lot.
It's the same as last year. What do you mean?
That's still like a huge. Wait, yeah. I thought they would change that.
So it's still 8 teams?
still a
Okay,
lot.
so we have... Dude, we don't even have... What? That's most
So
of the
literally,
league.
like,
Yeah,
So
it's-
literally,
it's
all
most
like
of the league.
1 team out of 9 will miss playoffs. So literally, like every team is gonna make playoffs.
Every team except for our speedrun to 10th and one other team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just keep maybe like Dignitas and like the miss.
Dignitas and miss out on playoffs? Okay,
Yeah,
so...
I think that's
GGs
what I-
somehow make it to playoffs. Okay, they're at the bottom, right? And then I think
Yeah.
right above this is EG here. I want to say no, Immortals.
EG is way better. EG has a dark horse. I would say. I think they're a
Yeah.
lot.
It's like this.
better.
I don't even know who is on the Immortals roster. Let me see.
Oh,
It is.
Yeah. They have fucking Xerxes and they have fucking Reyes and Destiny. Like this team's fucking shit. Well, I mean, at least it's developmental, but it's still kind of shit.
Okay,
Dude,
this is
the
huge
only
shit.
thing I remember about Reyes is he played in the World's qualification or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then he was like the guy playing Tristana who like could not buffer a rocket jump.
Okay, guys, give
At
me a
all?
second. I'll be right back.
The split is so long,
Mhm.
and these are literally the first looks at the roster.
I mean, yeah, I think that the thing that we should say is that things could change very much from this point forward.
Like, can you change like the text like in each of these categories?
Yes, I can actually.
Maybe like instead of dark horses, you could change to like contenders or title contenders.
Yeah, contenders.
Dark horses feels a little weird to put up there.
There we go.
Yeah, that's true. Playoff fault qualification. Yeah.
Okay, so I actually
I think these.
yeah. Okay, so these are we're gonna order them in a bit. Hold on. Okay. No. To be honest, where do we put TSM?
Wait, is TL invisible? Oh no, it's
No,
there.
no.
No, it's just dark. Now, are we saying only one person in split winner? Like we're actually making this an official like who is the best?
I think that would be really fun.
Okay.
I want to see if we can come to a consensus as to who will win the split.
So put C9 in title contenders then for now.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of.
Okay, now let's order this.
No.
First of all, TSM should not be in title contenders.
I think they're at the top.
Top of playoff qualifications? Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, probably.
Top of playoff qualifications. Okay.
Okay, now
Yeah.
But I would maybe like put I don't know, like maybe like I'll swap FlyQuest and Immortals maybe. I feel like FlyQuest can ramp up.
I think
later.
I think FlyQuest definitely has much more of a chance to do well compared to these two rosters because they have genuine like good they have Jose Diodo, they have Licorice, like I think they have potential to start popping off later in the split.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like
Definitely.
hard to tell because it's such a huge like they have so many games to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so long.
I mean, sorry.
The thing is, after lock-in, like, or at least after the games that we've seen of lock-in, I would for the most part agree with this standings right now. But I would almost say I want to rate Golden Guardians a little bit higher than Immortals and FlyQuest. Like, at least as it is right now, because Golden Guardians at the very least has been showing a lot of promise right now. FlyQuest and Immortals haven't shown that same spark, that same potential that we are looking for. But at the same time, I do agree that FlyQuest has a bit more veterans, a bit more, slow burn scaling, let's say, where they could kind of ramp it up later on.
Okay, so the bottom two are like scaling for like a very very late game because it's like splits later, but then these are like a mid game ramp up which is within the split. Hopefully, good God for TSM. Hopefully. Okay, title contenders, guys. Let's rank them. Are we putting EG at the bottom?
EG's probably the worst out of.
Right.
I think EG might be more benefiting from the meta more than anything.
Yeah.
I think all of Ignar's champion, like tanks are just OP in support right now. Galio, Leona, Rel, Alistar, and I guess Maokai is not really a tank based on his playstyle, but
okay,
Ignar
sorry.
is, like-
Tangent. Rel. What do you guys think?
she's pretty strong as a counter pick. I used to think she was terrible.
You can't pick her early, but if you pick her into a good matchup, I agree with Steven. And obviously, Steven's the support player in this group of us, and his opinions should be taken a little bit more heavily than maybe mine. But I do agree that Rel seems really strong. If you pick her late, you kind of get a favorable matchup for her, and the other team can't kind of counterpick Rel, because I do think she has very clear and exploitable weaknesses.
Okay.
The biggest thing is just that her engage from her W is really it can be interrupted. So if you interrupt that ability, you just end up like doing nothing. You're slow, and you're just gonna take free hits from the AD carry for like forever.
Yeah.
So into matches where she can get interrupted, it's quite poor. But in terms of why she's good, is that she pretty much can take bush control into any tank.
Yeah.
Because she's actually so tanky, and then she can just poke you out with Q and win attrition. So most of the time, if the AD carries are in a matchup where it's kind of even, who gets pushed in the lane, Rel can turn that against tank supports and just always get pushed. And that's I think what watching T1 and Damwon, that's generally what they use the Rel for. Is it just allows them to push in bot lane, and then they can affect the map more.
Have we seen Rel in the have LCS played Rel? Or maybe I haven't seen it.
We've seen at least 2 or 3 games of Rel. I think in the lock. I can't remember exactly which games, but we definitely had one game where she was counterpicked like R4, I think, after seeing the opposing support, and she had a good game because, like Steven said, she tends to do well in lane against other tank supports.
Okay.
And it can be the difference in kind of taking control of a lane and kind of being able to snowball from there. I think from behind, she isn't very good because, like Steven said, the W can be interrupted, and that's really her only form of engage outside of Flash Ultimate or Flash E. so you really need to make sure that you have some sort of engage, or that you're ahead and that the enemy team kind of has to come to you to fight. Because otherwise, if you're relying on Rel as your kind of primary or even secondary engage, it's not really a great place to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Rel is also like, her ult sucks. Like, just straight up, it is terrible. Like, it barely works. People just dash out of it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
actually,
people were talking about Rel and they said, oh, it's like Skarner ultimate, and everybody was like, no, it's like bad, really, really bad Skarner ultimate.
so her E, like, here's the story. Like, quick tangent, like, about me, like, trying to, when I was learning Rel. Okay, you have a stun that, like, hits everyone around you, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, is
So
her
you would
E
think-
is her E attract and repel, or?
Yeah, the attract and
Her E
repel.
is attract and repel.
Okay, I have.
So I was thinking, okay, so if I've already used my W, and the AD carry, like, is still there and I can stun him, I'm just gonna run up and try and stun him, because, you know, like, I stun everyone around me.
Yeah.
But literally, my champion is so slow that I just walk up and I just can't catch the AD carry. And I'm just like, wow, this champ is so bad.
When Rel is
if she's-
dismounted, she's about as slow as you can get.
Which is
Yeah,
funny because she's on a horse.
Well, no, because that's the thing. When she's dismounted, as soon as
Oh.
she remounts, she gets a whole lot of extra bonus movement speed.
You
Okay.
need a player with divers. Because LeBlanc is terrible, she hasn't been seeing play.
Mm-hmm.
But LeBlanc and Rel is such a good combo. You just
Well,
W in with dash in
Yeah,
with
sorry.
LeBlanc, instant stun, and then there's just the chain setup, and you get the full
Oh,
combo.
okay.
You've seen Kaisa Rel as well, and that as a 2v2 lane has a similar idea, right? You can tether to Kaisa, you apply Plasma with either Void Seeker or like a W engage or a Flash ultimate even, because the ultimate triggers Plasma. And then
Yeah.
Kaisa can dive in with Killer Instinct. And you basically, you know, it's almost like having a diving AD carry like a Kaisa with someone like a Taric, who you get that same, you know, kind of stun. In Rel's case, it's an AoE around you instead of Taric's kind of straight line.
Yeah.
But
It's
you
also not
bind-
delayed.
It's also not delayed. But you bind, you either jump in or you have your AD carry jump in, you
Yep.
get the stun, and then the AD carry or you can then dive on top of that and kind of chain that CC, chain that damage.
Sounds good. Okay, tangent
yes.
over. Back to tier list. All right.
Alright.
I still have my screen shared, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, we have EG 100. Like, this is the way that I see it right now.
It's TL C9.
I would agree with that one.
I
think
almost
that's
want to
cool.
move 100 Thieves a bit higher, but that's only off of lock-in, and I do think C9 can ramp it up.
I think Closer's better than Blabber. I think.
I think
Really?
Perks is
Blabber's
better
better
than
than
I think Perks is better than Demonte.
Devontae,
I still think Blabber is better than Closer.
I guess, yeah, they would look, 100 Thieves would look better because they have a roster.
Like,
lock.
my heart wants to say this, but
They're
my
not gonna
brain
win
is gonna
this
say.
split.
No,
They're
my-
gonna
my
make
heart
finals and choke. That's what's gonna happen.
Don't say
But-
that.
What? It's
My-
always every time a new team looks like they're gonna win, it always never works out.
If that actually happens, and like they actually lose to TL, I'm gonna be sad. And I'm a TL fan, but like they literally just like shilled out for their team, so I don't know how I can feel
Yeah.
good about that.
I mean,
I
the
mean,
thing
but
is,
they're gonna bring pride to our region, though. You know,
like,
are you gonna be saying that when they're winning worlds? You know,
Yeah,
You mean
but
the
like
team that has
core
how many
ju-
import-
yeah.
4 out of 5 imports.
exactly.
Wow, pride to NA,
NA,
guys.
dude, yeah. Dude,
Yo,
your
NA,
core-
NA,
quality of imports. We are a
NAADC.
country of imports, guys.
That's true.
Wait, what
None
did
of us
Corky
are
say?
actually like.
from
well,
here.
I mean, like,
We're not.
I was born here. I think Steven
Hey.
and Alex are also born here. But like, we're all not, you know, from Canada, North
We're
America.
not native.
technically.
Yeah, we're not.
ethnically not native.
Ethnically not. By that logic, nobody on TL is ethnically.
Exactly,
is
dude.
North American.
Tactical is born here, I think.
Well,
Yeah, but he's called Edward Raw. Is that a white
he's
person name?
All right, but like, I mean, is there? I mean, he was born here. He's North American. I mean, white
North America is the import region. We are literally imported from
Yeah.
other regions.
That's true.
that is true.
That's
North
true.
America literally founded on imports.
That's
you know,
true.
Like,
Yeah. Can't
That's
argue
true.
with that
Except we
shit.
usually get inferior products.
yeah, technically,
Unfortunate.
every white person's technically European if we're gonna
It's
consider
true.
tactical, like, you know, Asian.
We're just
That's
LEC
true.
in disguise. Anyway.
Yeah,
We're
LEC.
LEC x LPL.
All right, guys.
Technically, we're all African.
All right, tangent over.
Split winner. Split winner. Give me a split winner.
TL. TL.
Yeah, TL is gonna win. It's sad, but it's
Fine.
true.
Yeah,
Fine.
we all don't want to say that, but we know it's gonna be true. Now, okay, are you guys in agreement that C9's over 100 Thieves?
Yep.
C9, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know actually. I think 100 Thieves could get better.
That's
I think 100
that's what I
Thieves is better than
think. That's what I'm
C9.
trying to say. Like,
But
I think this.
I think like if
This the
I think
spice.
it could go either way depending on how 100 Thieves if 100 Thieves continues to develop. That's the thing, because when we last saw the Golden Guardians roster, they were still in development, right? And 100 Thieves, so long as they continue to develop, that I'd put them in 2.
But they already have a head start, and their ceiling is higher than C9's.
But that's the thing.
Actually,
Is there okay? No. Hold on.
Their ceiling-
Is their ceiling
Okay,
really
so-
higher than C9's?
Really?
think-
I doubt it.
I think
would
outside
disagree
of mid lane, I think so.
Like,
I think someday, I don't know,
on
man.
that. Top lane, yes. Top lane, I would
some
agree.
days better than Fudge. Closer, I
And he'll
think is
conti-
personally better than Blabber, but like if Closer's not better than Blabber, Closer has more, I think, chances to develop. Mid
okay,
lane, it's perks.
guys. To be honest, after this discussion, I'm like kind of wanting to move EG down because we literally haven't said a word about them in terms of like contending.
I think Svenskeren, because it's a jungle meta, Svenskeren can 1v9. But
I think
Yeah.
Ignar is gonna carry EG like really far.
Yeah,
Like,
I
Ignar
think
is really. It definitely has been probably one of the best AD carries like in the whole tournament in the lock.
definitely has been one of the best.
Holy
AD
shit!
carries.
Definitely so good. Like
Definitely more like Deft.
like I don't
Definitely
feel
playing that
bad.
role right now.
Yeah, I don't feel bad about getting shit stomped by him in like flex queue anymore because like holy shit, he's so good.
And I think the
Oh
thing is
my
like
God.
if you think about the way they're playing, like I think they are overperforming to some extent. I think the meta's also favoring them a lot because Jizuke's champions are actually like playable.
Yeah.
He's looked really good on the Syndra. He did overextend on the Zoe, but he's playing well. And the thing is like Jizuke is hit or miss, but right now he's only hitting.
Yeah. And I also don't think they're putting a lot of money into that roster, right? Like, I don't think
No,
they've spent out the
I don't
ass.
think so. I mean, like their biggest pickup in quotation marks was probably Impact
Mhm.
or Ignar. Neither one of them is a major pickup, but both of them are extremely, value, good signings for their roster. And from what we can tell, like Ignar and Impact have definitely made.
Dude, who are their import slots? Like, is there
I
only
would
import
actually
slots?
say
GG?
Ignar is a big pickup. Like Ignar was kind of hard smurfing on FlyQuest.
Well, then
Yeah.
I think
Like, if they win, it's gonna be through Ignar, like 100%.
the greatest part, actually, I think this actually puts Impact. It kind of unlocks Impact, though. I feel like on
Yeah.
TL, he was
Mhm.
very just like, oh, you're only a tank player, you know,
Yeah.
weak side Impact every game. But
Smudge, weak side tank player.
but I think,
but now I saw that Renekton, it's like, oh boy, Impact
Yeah.
about to turn a new,
I'm
it's actually
excited.
interesting because with
I think-
older
I think
players.
yeah, go for it.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, a lot of people were like, oh, why do teams give people like Deathly like a shot?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's been around in the scene for like probably 5 years,
Yep.
something like that.
Ish.
And it's like, oh well, they never improved. Like they had their shot, on this like Golden Guardians team, but
Mhm.
they kind of blew it. But it's really interesting seeing like it's not just recycled talent,
Yeah.
but he has actually been popping off.
Yep. I'm glad EG's.
But
I should watch more EG games. I think I just haven't watched them enough to have like a proper, to be honest, to have a proper evaluation. Are we good
But
though?
I still think they're.
Sorry. Yeah. Continue.
I was like, they're probably. I don't know. C9's very volatile. I think they're probably better than EG, but
I
not
think
better than
EG
100.
is pretty volatile.
I still think Cloud9's second best. Like Sven and Vulcan, we haven't talked about them.
Yep,
They're
that's
insane.
true.
They're still like probably the second. Well, it's the second best, if not the best bot lane in LCS. Like
Over
tactical.
Tactical and Core JJ and
Okay.
FBI and Huhi?
I think I think it's really much of a tie between those three.
Oh,
It's really hard to say who's better. But again, like Sven and Vulcan, they're up there. They're really good together.
Title contenders, but Alex.
Okay.
Wait, I can't. I actually can't like.
You can't copy.
I can't copy. Oh, whatever. Let's delete this. So.
Yeah, but I don't know. I can't wait to see the C9 100 Thieves. You know, it's gonna be a playoff matchup. Most
Do you guys
likely.
all think 100 Thieves is better than C9? Because in that case, you can just leave it like this.
Like I want to believe.
If we're talking end of split, because this is end of split, right? Because we're declaring a split winner. I think at the end of the split, 100 Thieves will be better than C9. Right now, I think it's still very close.
To that, yeah, I would disagree because like
I
is
actually would probably disagree too.
Thieves right now, and he's against Perk. You know, if you break apart mid lane, their whole game plan falls apart. Just look at take LPL for instance. Like you fuck up Rookie, and their whole team just fucking falls apart completely. Like you target Rookie, and then IG loses to NA teams. You know that's just what happens. So
Dude,
I think the same thing with 100 Thieves.
Hot take: Perks has been overrated mid for like a solid 2 years, ever since he was playing AD carry. Hot take.
Okay.
That is a hot take.
Okay. This is.
I swear he's not like. I don't know. I don't see it, man. I think when he was playing mid in EU, like when that split in G2, he wasn't that impressive. Like he was good, obviously, but I don't think he's like this super carry, like OP mid laner. And I can definitely see this like statement backfiring.
Yeah. Don't worry, dude. You're you're gonna get caught lacking if this is wrong.
I don't think he's he's one of those super carry. He's like a really versatile mid laner. Like he can play Doinby style, but he can also play Caps. Well, no, actually no. Caps
plays Doinby style.
He is Doinby style. Okay, no, never mind. I mean he can carry if he needs to, but he can also play Doinby style.
On the spectrum of leader to Doinby, where is Perks?
I think he's everywhere. He can probably do all of them.
Okay. Anyway.
He kind of has to. I don't know.
All right, so this is gonna be our one spicy pick: 100 Thieves over Cloud9, 100 Thieves second over all Cloud9 third, EG fourth, and then the rest are pretty irrelevant. This looks good. TL will probably win the split, to be honest. As boring as that is, I will download this image.
I believe they're gonna bring pride to our region. I just believe, even though it's for imports.
I'm just hoping that C9, 100 Thieves, EG, and one of the other teams give them a run for their money.
Yep.
So
I hope it's good. I hope it's good series. Yeah. On that note, continue. Sorry.
I was gonna say because if one team just kind of runs away with the split, it's usually a bad sign.
Super boring
for NA.
Yeah. On that note, that's the last piece of content that we have for this week. I thank all the boys for joining me. This was really fun. We're going to be covering a lot more LCS content as time goes by, obviously, as the season starts. And I don't know if we're going to be doing it weekly. We haven't really planned anything yet, but there's definitely going to be LCS coverage. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. And thank you for all my friends for coming along and having a good time. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Okay.
Peace.
We're good. We're good. All right, we're chilling. Good job,
Perks. I swear, Perks is about to be exposed.